Welcome back, crime fighters. It is time for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. I'm your host, Chris Wright, along with Calhoun County Sheriff Larry Emerson. Sheriff, it is good to see you again.
Good to see you as well, Chris, and everybody's been working hard. I'm impressed with the results we continue to get. Y'all are good at this crime fighting stuff.
We get some good information from the viewers, and another 10 arrests this past week.
Look at that, folks. You and your work has made our county a safer place. We continue to find people and get them inside either the jail or the courthouse to resolve their problems.
That's what it's all about. Now, before we move on and talk about this week's lineup, we've got a big event coming up here very soon that a lot of parents are starting to worry about. Now, I've got a 14-year-old now. He's not quite there, but he's getting close to it. Spring break will be here soon.
That is right. Spring break is that time we all look forward to as a student, and as a parent we have the opportunity for vacation, but also we have a lot of young people running loose when parents are at work. And folks, we ask you to use some common sense precautions about your young people. We don't want anyone to get hurt. I know some friends who just had a ATV accident and their daughter went to UAB last week because they were out. Wow. Having fun, playing, and getting messed up. So parents, traveling, we want you to be safe. If you are going to be out of town, we give those normal precautions. Get someone to pick up your paper, make your house look lived in, have some lights on, do something to let everybody know that it looks normal. You don't want that empty look.
Yeah, tell one of your neighbors to park their car in your driveway.
Yes, anything you can do to make your house look a little safer, any common sense thing you can do to watch after your kids if they are staying at home alone.
And if they're not staying at home, it doesn't make you a bad parent if you won't let your child go down to the beach with a group of friends that don't have anybody watching out for them.
No. Having been a teenager myself, I can attest to some horror stories that I knew about back in the day, and it still is true today, and maybe even a little riskier than it used to be. But parents, don't let your kids go off without the proper supervision. Safety is the number one thing, and just because they want to, good parenting means say no.
All right, that doesn't mean they can't have fun. Just make sure that you know how they're having fun, and it's a safe way. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, Jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
Your word is rigmarole.
Can you define it?
A long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston with Family Links, and this is the parenting tip of the week. Parents, you may be surprised that some of your habits could put you into the pushover or permissive parent category. Many parents today misunderstand their role. They often see their role as simply protecting the son or daughter from disappointment. They are there providing the safety net in situations where it might be wiser to let the kid experience the consequences. Here are 5 common ways that parents become too permissive and why you should change your ways. Number 1. Parents with no routines or limits. For many parents, life can get too hectic to follow through on their parenting plans, especially if it will take some time to get the kids on board. After a while, a family's lack of routine can result in lazy, spoiled teens without schedules and responsibilities. Number 2, parents who avoid conflict. Many parents find it easier to give in to their teens' demands than to get into yet another argument, so they become more lenient than they'd like. And this may be particularly true for parents who didn't like the way they were raised, so they relax the rules. You can let some minor things slide if you really hate conflict, but it's crucial to your credibility as a parent to continue being tough about the things that matter. Pick your battles, but don't bow out. Parents can't afford to back down. Number 3, parents who allow their children to make school an excuse. Savvy teens who want to shirk their responsibilities at home often use schoolwork as an excuse because parents are usually pushovers for anything supposedly related to academics. There isn't a kid in America that doesn't know that saying, "I'm going to be studying," takes precedence over chores. You may think that you're helping your child by doing his chores for him, but your permissiveness could hurt them in the long run. To ensure your child becomes a well-rounded adult, require him to follow through on all his or her responsibilities, not just those that could boost the GPA. Number 4, parents trying to be a friend to their teen. Some overly permissive parents are more concerned with their teenagers liking them than being effective authority figures. Teens need authoritative parents to help them make the right choices, not friends to gossip with. If you're ready to change your relationship with your teen, then you need to own that and make the big change. Parents who reward teens with technology is the last one. Kids are getting smartphones at younger and younger ages, often because they wear their parents down by begging for the devices. But giving in isn't good for your child, even if you can justify that your child can call you if he or she unexpectedly needs a ride. Parents give 6th graders smartphones and Facebook accounts and don't set screen time limits, and then their grades go down. There's no reason for parents of middle schoolers to give up as much control as they do. And if you've already given your child a gadget, use it to promote better behavior. The best thing about smartphones is you can take them away. Tell your kids you get your phone as a paycheck. You have to be a good citizen, go to bed, do your homework to earn this. You don't even have to fight about having to give it to them. Call your carrier and have them turn it off. Now remember, being a permissive parent may make things easier for you, but it does not set your child up for the real world. For more parenting tips, please contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up this week, Sally Warner. Miss Warner, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted for probation violation on possession and receipt of a controlled substance and failure to appear on loitering. And this is Darius Rowland. Mr. Rowland, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation revocation on burglary third. And take a look at Quentin Gunn. Mr. Gunn, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on receiving stolen property third. And we'd like you to meet Luke Coggins. Mr. Coggins, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession and receipt of controlled substance, use and possession of drug paraphernalia, and attempting to elude. And this is Lonnie Landfair. Mr. Landfair, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for probation violation on illegal possession of prescription drugs. Take a look at Yolanda Coleman. Miss Coleman, last known to be living in Weaver. She's wanted for failure to pay on writing bad checks. And last up for our first half, Anthony Sanders. Mr. Sanders, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation revocation on possession of marijuana second. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
That's only half of the bag, guys. We got more for you coming up in just a few minutes, unfortunately, Sheriff.
Yes, no lack of opportunity, as I say.
And then towards the end of the program, we will have the Crime Stoppers segment as well. We'll talk about some unsolved crimes. But right now, we want to talk about preparedness and emergencies and things that go wrong here in Calhoun County and how we can all be better prepared for them.
And that's happening all over our country. It can happen in the blink of an eye, weather-wise or otherwise. So it's great to be prepared, and we got the right folks to help us.
Yeah, from the Calhoun County Emergency Management Agency, Jonathan Gaddy, our director, and Ashley, who is the Public Information Officer now. So share some information with the public, Ashley. What do we need to know?
One of the best things that you need to know is how to monitor ongoing weather situations or other things that you need to be aware of that are going on in the community. And some of our suggestions are social media. Like we have a Facebook page
I noticed you had a lot of information. I was looking at the Facebook page as we had all the storms coming through, all the ice over the last few weeks. Really, actually, I was looking at several different emergency management agency Facebook pages from around the region, and I got to say I was very impressed. Calhoun County was right at the top of the list as far as getting that information out. So, Jonathan, you got to be proud of that.
I tell you, we are, and that really speaks to the citizens in the community wanting to be engaged because they're out there trying to get that information, and that's why we want to keep it updated and relevant. We're very fortunate. We just hit 10,000 likes on Facebook, so that's a lot of folks in Calhoun County in this area that are looking for that information so they can keep themselves and their family prepared.
And that's one of the things that we want people to do is go there and like that page so that it will show up in their Facebook feed. There are some times when we know we need to be looking out for some information. There are other times when things just happen out of the blue and we wouldn't know about it otherwise. We need to be in that news feed.
Absolutely. There are some ways you can sign up to get those alerts that we call a push alert, where we can send out a text message to your phone. You can text Calhoun EMA to 888-777 or visit our website to sign up for those alerts. It's really tough to keep that information updated during a fast-breaking incident, but one of the things people need to look out for on the social media is to make sure that the information that they're seeing is current. A lot of times folks will share information such as school closures, and if you're not really careful, you may be looking at some information that's either posted earlier that day or possibly even several days before. So always check to make sure you're seeing the latest updated information.
And Sheriff, I know that you try to do a good job at the Sheriff's Office sharing information that comes from the Emergency Management Agency. I know something might be posted on the EMA Facebook page, then reshared on the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office page, but you can't count on that happening every time, so you do encourage people to like both of the pages.
Like both of the pages, we get different kinds of information. EMA has that great link with the Weather Service, so they're getting things firsthand, and we're getting reports from the roads and from different sources. Both of us do. So keep checking, keep an eye on it, because there's a lot of information that's so quickly available now.
And Jonathan, as you were saying, Facebook is good, but there are some other ways with the texting and such where you can make sure that it's not just by chance that Facebook lets you see that in your news feed, because they do filter those things out some, and there are some things you can do to make sure that you get those alerts.
Absolutely. Make sure you go to our page and like us and follow us so that you get those alerts that show up in your news feed. If you use Twitter, we encourage you to follow us there. As the sheriff was saying, we try to reshare information, and we're getting information from the police departments and fire departments, as he alluded to, all of these agencies. But we also get information from the citizens. So if you've got some pictures or something that's going on, send that to these agencies, but make sure you know if it's an emergency or something that needs immediate attention, always call 911. It's great to have that stuff to look at on social media, but if it's something that's urgent, we need to get those public safety agencies out there to look at it.
Especially when there is something major going on like an ice event. The people that are manning those Facebook pages normally, they're doing that not necessarily full time. If you send something to the EMA or the Sheriff's Office via Facebook, it may or may not get seen in a timely manner. Eventually somebody's going to see it, but it may be after it's too late.
Absolutely. We try to stay on top of that, but obviously with the phones ringing and the radios going in the background, we can't stay there all the time and immediately get back. We really want to engage with folks and give them information, and we do try to follow up with the questions that they have, but it's just one of those things that we can't always get to.
Actually, when we do have a situation like this, when a lot of the schools are closed, the roads may or may not be passable, you're trying to get information out to the public. Do you have time to take calls from the public? What do we encourage people to do when they want that information right now?
We do encourage people to try to use the social media platform. We answer every call that comes in there. Someone will answer your questions based upon the information that we have available. But our social media page will have the most current information that we have available. So if they do check Facebook or Twitter, they will see exactly what we would tell them on the phone if they called.
All right, well, we got plenty more that we want to talk to you about. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the second half of this week's lineup and more on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Ernie Alvarez, General Manager at Sonny King Ford, and we'd like to invite you to come and visit. We'll take our time working with you to get just what you're looking for. Come and see the all-new 2015 Mustang, completely redesigned just for you. And check out the most popular truck in America for the last 37 years running, the new 2015 Ford F-150. New or pre-owned, Sonny King Ford wants to be your car company.
Sonny King Ford, South Quintard, Anniston, Oxford.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Amy Gaskin. Miss Gaskin, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation revocation on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And here is Brandon White. Mr. White, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for failure to appear on assault third. And take a look at Mary Moody. Miss Moody, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted for failure to appear on writing multiple bad checks. And this is Caleb Williams. Mr. Williams, last known to be living in Alexandria. He's wanted for probation revocation on possession of marijuana second. And we'd like you to meet Ruben Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for probation revocation on assault third. And last up in our lineup this week, Arika Bailey. Miss Bailey, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property third. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of any of these folks, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers, 256-238-1414.
All right, we've still got some crime fighting for you to do here in a few minutes. We'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show, and we'll talk about our crazy criminal of the week. Some pretty good video this week, Sheriff.
Good video. Can't wait to see it. Anxious to see what you brought for us.
I love the dash cams in all the police cars now. This is awesome. All right, but we've got Jonathan and I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name now. Ashley from Calhoun County Emergency Management Agency.
It's part of her test. She's learning.
My wife doesn't like me remembering other women's names. I passed this test today. But we had a test here recently in the community with a lot of ice on the roads and potential for even more than what we ended up with. Jonathan, how did we do as a community with this issue? What do we need to learn from the last few weeks?
You know, Chris, I think we did really great. We did not have as many traffic accidents as we expected. Unfortunately, we did have some, of course. But the schools, I think, made the right decision, taking the safety first plan and closing those schools, doing the delays as they did to make sure the buses didn't have to be out there on ice. And the one thing we really saw that we're proud of is that the citizens were out there seeking that information about road conditions. And they really worked with the authorities. The last storm we had, this kind of the second round, where the northern half of the county got more ice and snow than the southern half of the county, folks were understanding of that because we were kind of on the line there between nothing and having a lot of problems.
Well, as we learned last year, you can think you're on one side of the line and you're okay, and then all of a sudden it shifts just a little bit and everything turns to chaos.
Absolutely. The one thing with the winter weather is nobody knows what's going to happen. We always try to get the latest updates from the Weather Service and the forecasters. The bottom line is you need to be ready for anything.
Sheriff, did you think everybody did a good job?
Really, the night that it snowed, it was wonderful. I saw the least amount of people on the road that I've ever seen in a snow situation. Folks got the message, they stayed home. It was impressive, and that really added to the safety factor.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what else do we need to know to prepare ourselves in the future? I know we've got severe weather in a different form now. We've got the thunderstorms and tornadoes are ready, aren't they, Ashley?
They are. We're into March, April, and May, which, as we all know, here in the South, is for severe weather, including tornadoes. We recommend that you get a NOAA weather radio if you do not have one yet. We recommend that people have a plan, know where your safe place is if we go under a tornado warning, and just have family emergency preparedness kits, have batteries, flashlights, extra water. Be able to take care of yourself for up to 72 hours. In the unfortunate event that something does happen to your home or your community, and people cannot get aid to you right away.
And of course, I always recommend, this is a little bit self-serving, but make sure you got some batteries and a radio.
Yes.
When the power goes out, a lot of people can't turn on the television or radio. They're not able to get information. Your cell phone hopefully is charged up, but when we had the tornadoes that came through,
yes,
the cell towers, some of them were not in good shape, and the ones that were overloaded with people trying to get in touch with loved ones. That radio, it's one-way communication, but it's some communication, and the radio stations are going to be getting out the important information.
And that phone, the internet may be down, the batteries on your phone, you may not can charge them. So having that backup plan is very important. And your radio folks are going to, of course, have that up-to-date information that you may not can get.
We think about all the conveniences that we have these days, and they're all great, wonderful tools. But you have to remember, okay, what can I really rely on when things go bad? Some of those conveniences won't be there.
That's right. The FM radio station is great. Just like you guys were saying, your cell phone is awesome as long as the cell site that you're talking to has power and some kind of connectivity. If your phones are out and the internet's down at your house, the cell tower may be working for a day or so, but eventually it's probably going to go down. Especially with tornadoes and these major ice storms, that FM radio in your car and the portable battery-powered radio that you need to have in your house and your emergency kit can definitely be a lifesaver. We also encourage folks to have a NOAA weather radio, but just like with anything else, it can unfortunately fail too. So make sure you've got that AM, FM radio ready to go so that you can get the latest information, especially now that we're going into tornado season.
And I'm sure you guys have got a lot of great information online that people can go and get themselves prepared.
We do. If you look at the Calhoun County EMA Facebook page or online at our website, we've got some tips out there on things that are specific to Calhoun County. But one of the best sites available is from the Department of Homeland Security, and it's called ready.gov. And there are tons of examples on there, tips such as having an out-of-town contact for your family in case you're separated from your spouse or your child. Have somebody check in with a family member or a friend that lives maybe in the next state over. So there's tons of stuff out there. Just get online and Google for emergency preparedness. You're going to get it.
Ready.gov, you said, is that website?
That's correct.
Very good.
And Jonathan, interject here on the sirens. I know there's been some changes over the years. If I hear a siren at my house, what is that telling me?
The way the sirens are set up in Calhoun County, if you hear the siren, that means you need to go inside, find out what's going on, and take some actions to protect yourself.
It's not a warning for the whole county, it's a warning for where you are.
That is correct. Only the sirens in the immediate affected area will be sounded. But we always tell folks, those sirens are there to alert folks who may be outside, maybe don't have another way of getting that information. If you're inside your home, you need to have a weather radio, sign up for these text messages. Don't rely on the sirens.
All good information. Jonathan, Ashley, thank you very much. We'll be back with our Crazy Criminal of the Week and the Crime Stoppers segment of the show coming up on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Hi, I'm Ernie Alvarez, General Manager at Sonny King Ford, and we'd like to invite you to come and visit. We'll take our time working with you to get just what you're looking for. Come and see the all-new 2015 Mustang, completely redesigned just for you. And check out the most popular truck in America for the last 37 years running, the new 2015 Ford F-150. New or pre-owned, Sonny King Ford wants to be your car company.
Sonny King Ford, South Quintard, Anniston, Oxford.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved a crackhead, drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch like me.
I once was
Homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost. But now I am
sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show. So get out a pen and paper and start writing down these cases. We need your help. So first up, between February 3rd and February 4th, a red Lincoln wire welder and antique metal churn were stolen from this storage building located on Brown Bridge Road in Piedmont. And sometime between March 2nd and March 4th, a steel chainsaw, fishing tackle box, and various rods and reels were stolen from this storage building located on Rabbit Town Road in Piedmont. And sometime between February 28th and March 4th, a black and orange bag containing assorted tools was stolen from a truck parked at a residence on Alexandria-Jacksonville Drive in Anniston. On March 1st, a Husqvarna weed eater and Echo Trim hedge trimmer were stolen from this storage building located on Stevens Road in Piedmont. And on March 1st, a steel chainsaw, steel weed eater, and steel leaf blower were all stolen from a storage building located at a second residence on Stevens Road in Piedmont. Sometime between March 3rd and March 4th, a 2013 white Buick Regal was broken into. That vehicle parked at a residence on Justice Drive in Anniston. They got away with a firearm. And between March 4th and March 6th, miscellaneous mechanics tools, fishing rods and reels, and a window air unit conditioner were stolen from this storage building located on Possum Trot Road in Piedmont. Damage was also caused to the building. And sometime between February 26th and March 6th, a Milwaukee saw with battery and charger, rigid cordless drill, and DeWalt tool set were all stolen from a barn located on Alexandria-Wellington Road in Wellington. And sometime between January 1st and February 15th, a blue Duramax 4400 gas generator was stolen from this storage building located on Smith Boozer Road in Wellington. And last up on your caseload, between March 3rd and March 6th, a Mauser 7mm bolt-action rifle, Husqvarna Rancher orange chainsaw, and still orange and white weed eater were all stolen from a storage building located at this residence on Hollingsworth Road in Jacksonville. And that's your caseload this week. I hope you know something about these cases, and if you do, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Sheriff, I'm sure that you have plenty of occasions where somebody is in trouble for a traffic violation or something, and when they know they're about to get pulled over, they try to get rid of some other evidence, don't they?
That seems to happen, Chris. It looks like there's littering going on as we go down the highway.
We've got some video from Arizona that we want to go ahead and show you now. Somebody that had a large amount of marijuana in their vehicle, and you can see
container
the
number 2, container number 3.
Yeah, they're throwing a bunch of it out here, and the chase goes on for a while. And they don't stop until their tires get blown up, and they eventually are forced to stop, and then they try to run away. At this point, they're not going to get away with that because they threw it out the window, are they?
No. There's somebody following up. I saw another one going, there's somebody else getting those containers, and yes, you will be charged with it.
You also get a charge of littering maybe at this point?
Being stupid for sure.
Some of the evidence was not recovered by the police because it was picked up by some of the other motorists.
I'm sure that large container, there were some curious people, and they could be arrested.
Yes, they could. I was just trying to help. I was going to bring it in next week.
Yeah, I was going to bring it in. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah. All right, well, that's all the time that we have for this week. We thank you for joining us on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And we'll be looking for you again, but hopefully not in the lineup.